Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lindsay Fischer and I'm the Principal Ballet Master for the National Ballet of Canada. It is my great pleasure to be talking to you about our new production of The Winter's Tale. It has one overarching feature which makes it a brilliant subject for a ballet, and that is its concept of winter. Winter as a time when the land is dead, and yet winter is also the time when our faith is strengthened, when we must learn to believe that the sun will return, and with it warmth. Christopher Wheeldon deals with some of the complexities of the plot by getting rid of them in a prologue. This prologue is presented to us as something that might have happened in memory. We see that indeed there was two little princes born, Leontes and Polixenes, and they grew up together, and their fathers died and they were crowned kings. And Leontes fell in love with a princess named Hermione and they were married. And then Polixenes went off to rule Bohemia and Leontes went off to rule Sicilia, and they didn't see each other anymore. And in this time, Hermione and Leontes had a child, and that child grew up. And then a ship came, and on it was Polixenes, and Polixenes and Leontes were reunited, and they were the best of friends. And then the first act begins, and the set is suddenly real time. The costumes are more fully realized. We are now in Sicily, and it is the day when Polixenes has decided that he must return to his own kingdom. Leontes, on the other hand, suddenly can't bear to see his friend leave and says to him, "Can't you stay?" He says to his wife, "You ask him." And Polixenes thinks, "What's another week?" And so he stays. And Leontes thinks, "Why for her request and not for mine?" And the seed of jealousy is sown. One of the wonderful ways that the creative team chose to realize Leontes' interior life was to take statues. And of course, statues are a very important part of this play. In the court in Sicilia, there is a statue gallery. And at a certain point, Leontes, thinking that Polixenes and Hermione are having an affair, thinks, "I'll send them to the statue gallery and I'll catch them at it." And so he puts Hermione on trial. And she says to him, "But what have I to offer except my integrity? I care not. I have lost your love. I have lost my child. What do I have in this life that would make me hang on to it so desperately?" And at that moment, their young son, Mamilius, comes down the stairs and sees what is happening, how his father is persecuting and ruining his mother's life and reputation, and he drops dead from stress. And at that moment, of course, Hermione is overcome with grief, collapses to the floor, and we believe she's dead too. The second act, we see that while it may be winter in Sicily, in Bohemia, it's spring. And Perdita, the lost child, the child of Hermione and Leontes that was exposed on the shore, well, she's been found. She's been found by a shepherd and raised as his daughter. And today is her 16th birthday. It's the day that she knows the man she's in love with is going to propose to her, and that man is none other than Polixenes' son, Florizel. We also see that this country, Bohemia, is full of life. And in fact, the only stain on that would be Polixenes himself, whose betrayal by his friend 16 years ago has warped his mind somewhat too. And when he sees that Florizel is madly in love with Perdita, he doesn't say, "Oh, what a beautiful young girl, let's raise her to the nobility." He says, "How dare you consort with a shepherd girl? I'm going to kill you." So Perdita and Florizel jump in a ship, and where else would you go except the court of your father's best friend? So they run back to Sicily. In the third act, we go back to Sicily, we go back to the land of winter, and all that's happening is that every day Paulina and Leontes go to the grave of Hermione and Mamilius, and they bow down, and Leontes says again the same words every day, "I wronged you so badly, I'm so sorry, there's nothing I can do, forgive me." In this moment, a messenger arrives and says, "There's a ship from Bohemia, a young prince, the son of Polixenes, and a beautiful young bride. Polixenes comes in enraged. How dare you? And he actually lays hands on Perdita. And in the struggle, the emerald that she's wearing is suddenly exposed. This is the same emerald that Leontes gave Hermione on the birth of Mamilius. Perdita sees that Leontes is wearing an identical emerald, and Paulina falls to her knees and says, "The lost child is found." So of course now they get married. That's easy. She's a princess, he's a prince, everyone's happy. And Paulina says to Leontes, "We should go one last time. I've had a special statue made." And as Leontes looks at the statue, he says, it's phenomenal. And Hermione reveals that she has been alive all this time, waiting for winter to be over. She comes down from the pedestal. Leontes touches her face. She realizes, "I'm alive and I forgive him." And then Paulina says to him, "And there's more. Show Hermione her daughter." And Leontes turns back to the statue of what was the statue of Hermione and Mamilius and is now only the statue of Mamilius. And Paulina walks up to him and says, "No, no, no. You don't need to stay here and pay homage to Mamilius anymore. He's dead, but it's the past. I will stay here. I am alone. I will take care of death. You must go into the future and care for your life." And the ballet ends.